Dopamine, dating, and the rat in your brain. Sounds pretty intense, right? Well, let's dive into why your brain just seems to glitch when you're dating. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty science of why we get so hooked on certain people.
Okay, let's just get right to it. Why do we obsess over the people who ignore us? I mean, seriously, it drives us absolutely nuts, right? You meet someone, you're into them, but the more they pull away, the more you lean in. What is that about?
Oh, you know this feeling. We've all been there. You send the text, and then you see it. The 3 dots. They're typing, and your heart does that little flutter, right? That little rush of, okay, here it comes.
And they disappear. Poof. Gone. No reply. And suddenly your brain is just spinning. What were they gonna say? Did I say something wrong? Why did they stop? It's torture!
And now, it's been 6 hours. And you think you'd move on, right? Nope. The opposite happens. The obsession gets stronger. You're checking your phone every 2 minutes, rereading what you sent, and you don't even realize it, but you are completely and totally hooked by that uncertainty.
So look at this. It's night and day, isn't it? The person who ignores you, total obsession. You're constantly checking your phone. It's this crazy mix of anxiety and excitement. But the person who's always there, always available, we call them annoying. We get bored. Logically, it makes 0 sense. But for your brain, oh, it makes perfect sense.
Listen, and I really want you to hear this, it is not your fault. Seriously. If this has happened to you, you're not crazy, you're not broken. This is a straight-up biological glitch in your brain's wiring, and a pretty powerful one at that.
All right, so to figure out what's happening with your iPhone in the present day, we need to get in a time machine and go all the way back to a lab in the 1950s. Yeah, it involves a rat in a box.
So picture this. The year is 1950, and this super famous psychologist, B.F. Skinner, is running this experiment. He had no idea at the time, but he's about to stumble onto the exact reason you get anxious about text messages today. And it all started with a couple of rats in a couple of boxes.
Okay, so here's the deal. You've got 2 boxes. In box A, rat A presses a lever, it gets a snack. Every single time. Super consistent, super predictable. Now, over in box B, rat B presses the same lever, but it only gets a snack randomly. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Totally unpredictable.
And the results? Whoa, they were insane. Rat A, with the guaranteed snack, it kind of got bored. It was like meh, and eventually just stopped pressing the lever. But rat B, the one with the random reward, it became a full-blown addict. It would just frantically press that lever over and over and over again, sometimes until it literally passed out from exhaustion, all for that chance of a reward.
So this crazy phenomenon actually has a name. It's called intermittent reinforcement. And let me tell you, it's the most powerful form of conditioning there is. It's literally the reason slot machines in Vegas are so addictive. Our brains are wired to crave that unpredictable reward way more than a guaranteed one.
And here's the part that might sting a little. That crush who texts you back randomly, they're the lever. Their reply is the food pellet. And you? I'm sorry to say it, but you are rat B.
Okay, so this brings us to what I call the nice guy paradox, or nice girl paradox. Let's dig into why being super predictable can actually, kill the attraction. So think about it. If you're always available, you text back in 2 seconds flat, you're always ready to hang out, you're creating what's called a continuous reinforcement schedule. You're being the lever in box A. You think you're showing them you're reliable, but what their brain hears is guaranteed reward. No surprise here. And here is the absolute key to this whole thing. Your brain doesn't release that feel-good chemical, dopamine, for stuff it already knows is coming. No, it releases dopamine for the surprise. Scientists call it a prediction error. It's that moment of, oh, I wasn't expecting that gives you the chemical rush. And look at the difference here. It is not even close. A predictable reward? You get a tiny little blip of dopamine, barely anything. But a random reward? Boom! The brain gets flooded with it. And that massive dopamine rush, that's what we call the spark. That's what we think is chemistry. It's a chemical reaction to unpredictability.
So let me just spell it out. If you are totally predictable, you are biologically impossible to obsess over. It's not a personality flaw, it's just brain chemistry. You've taken all the surprise out of the equation, and on a chemical level, that makes you, well, boring. Okay, I know what you're thinking. So I have to be a jerk to get someone to like me? No, absolutely not. Let's talk about how to apply this without being a manipulative weirdo. Welcome to the Unpredictability Playbook.
Two really simple things you can do. First up, the response gap. This is not about playing games, it's just about breaking the pattern. You don't have to text back instantly every single time. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 5 hours. Let your response time reflect that you actually have a life. Second, something called the Zeigarnik Effect. Basically, our brains hate unfinished business. So instead of ending a good conversation with bye, just don't. End it on a high note, leave it open. It'll create an open loop in their mind that they'll be dying to close.
All right, before we wrap up, we have to talk about the single most important part of all of this. This is a crucial warning, because this knowledge is powerful, and you've got to use it right. Let's call it the authenticity rule. And I cannot stress this enough. If you're just faking it, if you're sitting at home, staring at your phone, timing your reply for exactly 3 hours to seem cool, you've completely missed the point. Faking this just makes you a rat in a costume. You're still the one obsessed with the lever, you're just playing a game.
See, the real goal isn't to pretend you're busy. The goal is to actually be busy building an awesome life. True variable availability, that natural unpredictability, comes from genuinely being focused on your career, your fitness, your passions. When you're doing that, you don't have to calculate your response times. They just happen.
And that's the whole takeaway here. Don't fake scarcity. Be scarce. Stop wasting your energy pretending to be the prize and start putting all that energy into actually becoming the prize. The attraction, that's just a side effect of you building an incredible life for yourself. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to a choice. Now that you know how the game is played, who are you going to be? Are you going to be the rat, desperately pushing a button, hoping for a crumb of attention? Or are you going to be the house, so busy and fulfilled that your attention is the jackpot? Think about it.